Wednesday morning and welcome back to ABC WTVA for Distance Learning 101. I'm Greg Ellis and I'm excited today to be joined by Anna Hamilton, a 5th grade math teacher at Rankin Elementary, and she has got a lot of fun things planned for you today.
Thank you for having me, Greg.
Absolutely. So you're in your first year in the school district, a proud product of Ripley.
Very proud product of Ripley.
Very proud product of Ripley, but we're so excited to have you here, and we're looking forward to you kind of walking us through some exciting math lessons.
Of course,
today.
yes. I'm so excited. I'm very thankful to be teaching in Tupelo Public School District. I'm thankful for Ms. Cartwright, Mr. Sparks, and Dr. Slater, and they lead us so well. So thank you for having me.
All right. Well, you've been studying and preparing for this. So let's get started. Let's do some math.
Okay, so this is April 23rd, Math, Evaluating Expressions 5OA1. OA1 just means one of our domains that we're learning today. We always do this on Wednesday. Our learning goal for today is I can use parentheses, brackets, or braces in numerical expressions and evaluate expressions with these symbols. I just put a little note in there for students to get writing utensils and paper just to make sure they're successful and purposeful in what they do.
Great.
So first we're going to start with a video from Flocabulary. It is a little rap. My students we love to listen to some rap. So here we go on order of operations evaluating expressions.
Who knew you could put rap into math?
Oh, it doesn't really seem like we're learning when we watch it.
Order of operations. Now make sure you follow step by step.
I think it's going to be hard for me not to sing it, so here we go.
Feel free to sing.
I've been first and I've been last. Either way, I keep the order with PEMDAS. First is parentheses, then it's exponents. Multiply, divide, add, subtract. Yeah, you know this. I've been first and I've been last. Either way, I keep the order with PEMDAS.
So he's talking about order. That's a really, there's an order to it. So I like how it starts off with that.
Yeah, you know when I evaluate expressions, I have some patience. I just follow the order of.
So there's a strategy for that, order of operations.
It's funny, you see on Facebook all these math people like to put these little places on there. You're supposed to figure it out, and that's what it is.
It is. If you follow it, you'll get it right 100% of the time.
What is happening? P is parentheses, search for one first.
So that's what we do first.
You need to do the work. E is exponents, so raise them up. Or get down with the roots like Questlove does. MD, multiplication and.
I like how it says and division. I do them left to right. We say left or right all the time.
Addition
and subtraction.
First, do it last.
I like that. You learn them first because you learn it in kindergarten, but now you do it last.
Some say PEMDAS. Either way, the order is important, just like swim class.
Swim class is very important.
Either way, I keep the order with PEMDAS.
After this, he's going to work through one problem, and then we'll finish that. And this is a video I introduced with, but we watch it the whole time we're teaching this. Just randomly, they love it. They can rap it, honestly.
You got the fun class going on.
Oh, yes, yes. You'll see their heads tilting. We're getting with it.
Okay. Let's say that we've got this. Let's use PEMDAS. See what we accomplish. First we do what we see in the parentheses. 17 minus 15, that is 2 indeed. 3 plus 1, that is 4. Yes,
so now we've taken care of parentheses. We go to exponents.
Dealing with 4 to the second means 4 times 4. That equals 16. And yes,
now we're on multiply. And we divide. So we go left to right.
2 is 32. Oh my. 32 divided by 4 is 8. And then we add or subtract, okay? 8 minus 5 is 3. Which is easier than writing this to me. Cut through your operations just
we'll finish
like
it after this.
Flowcab. Yeah, we keep it working.
Okay. So I would cut the video off there. He's going to go back through just the start of that again. But it is an order to it. So we're going to go ahead and get into the assignment. We have, also I would have for them posted, they would take notes with me.
Okay.
So this is an anchor chart, and it just shows parentheses, but it also comes down here and it says parentheses, brackets, and braces, because that is what our learning goal was.
Okay.
So we're seeing that we do all of those, we call them grouping symbols.
Okay.
So we do all of that first, then exponents, then we multiply, divide from left to right, add and subtract. So I just put in the notes here that is also included if they need it for additional support.
Gotcha.
So instead of rewatching that video over and over, we can also do that. So we're going to go into the slides. That is their first assignment. They'll also, it says to click turn in when they're finished. It says please follow the direction on each slide. I will give you feedback on your assignment. So,
Are you getting good questions from the students? Are they participating?
I am. They're participating well.
Okay.
I'm getting some questions. Some of them will be, I lost the text box, and I will just type in how to put a text box. But most of them,
Okay.
Again, the slide, it says the learning goal again. They'll type their name and date in
Okay.
there. And before I do this, I'm going to do a pointer. So the directions are over here to the left. They'll read the directions, match the symbols to the correct vocabulary word. So we just went through that anchor chart and saw that is parentheses, that is brackets, and that is braces. So they just match that up just
Gotcha.
quickly before we get started. The third slide, or the second slide, is place the parentheses to show what terms you would evaluate first. Well, we just learned that first, if we do not have parentheses, we X that out. We do not have any exponents as I see, so we X that out. So our first thing we would do is multiply or divide left or right. So we're going to put parentheses around multiplication. Okay. So we're going to see that that's what we do first. Then it says enter the value of the expression. So let's work this out. We do what's in parentheses first. 7 times 2 is 14. It is. And I have a student, Jacob Townsend, and a lot of my students are great at this, but he'll use one sheet of paper to rewrite each step to make sure he gets it right. And I use him as an example often, but he'll bring it down, and instead of doing 14 plus 9, that's what some students do in their head, he actually rewrites every step, and I love that. A lot of students do that, though. And we see 14 plus 9 is 23, and our expression is 23. Okay?
So it gives you the answer.
It does. There's an answer key attached on every assignment so they can check. Again, place the parentheses to show what term you must evaluate first. Well, we see we do not have any parentheses. We do not have exponents. So we're doing multiplication or division. We see that. So we see we have division only. So we're going to put parentheses around that because that's what we do first. And so with 15 divided by 5 is 3. Bring it down like Jacob Townsend does. 3 minus 3 is 0, and our expression is 0. And I love this because a lot of the times when somebody looks at that, they're like, there's no way that equals 0,
right.
You know. But if we follow the order of operations, we will come to that. Okay, so now it just says evaluate the expression. And at first glance, my students would. It is scary looking.
Not just for your students.
It is, but we can do this if we follow the order of operation. So we start with P, parentheses, and like I told you and I told them, and it's on that anchor chart, also there's grouping symbols. So we have brackets. We see we have brackets, and we have inside those brackets we have 2 sets of parentheses. So we're going to do both parentheses first because of that. And we have 2 plus 5 is 7, and we have 25 divided by 5 is 5. We're going to bring, this is very key. A lot of students will forget to put their brackets in. Because if we didn't though, we would bring that and we would do 2 times 7 and your answer would be incorrect. So that's why we have to get in that, that routine of rewriting each step.
And that's why your student's going to be good at math. Because
right. Rewriting all the steps. And they are very, very good at it, very diligent in it. And so I brought the multiplication sign down, I brought 2 times down because we can't forget about that, or we can't. So now we still have P. We still have that P that we're talking about. So 7 times 5 is 35. I'm going to bring that, what's left over down. Now I see I do not have any exponents, so I can cross that out. I do have multiply or divide, so I go left to right. I see I only have multiplication left, so I'm going to do 35 times 2 equals 70. And my value of that expression is 70. And so, go ahead.
All right, so if they get it wrong, does it show them where they first made their mistake, or how does?
It will show them in the answer key where they made their mistake.
Great.
It will show each step for them. Yes, sir.
Great.
So now this is a little different. It says place an X next to the expression that has a value of 39. So it says parentheses have been added to the following expression. So we see here very clearly that parentheses is going to change the expression. So let's see. They added it to 7 times 3. So order of operations, we do parentheses first. 7 times 3 is 21. Bring that down. 21 plus 6 is 27. So because of process of elimination, we know that's not going to be the answer. So we do it. 6 plus 7 now is 13. Bring down times 3, and we get 39, and we put our X there. So the value that yields 39 is this expression right here.
That is awesome. Okay, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to continue with Miss Hamilton on our math. Welcome back to Distance Learning 101. I'm Greg Ellis with Miss Hamilton today, and we're learning 5th grade math. She's a teacher at Rankin, and we've learned the value of order, parentheses. Boy, that can change the equation.
Very much so, very much so.
All right, so let's continue. We've gotten our order down pat, maybe, and now
Yeah.
we're going to go from here.
Well, like I always tell them, the practice doesn't make perfect, perfect practice makes perfect, so we're going to really just keep practicing perfect so we can get it right. So again, place a value, an X next to the expression that has a value of 5. It says parentheses have been added to the following expression. So here's the expression, but again, parentheses matter. Grouping symbols matter. So let's go through these. We would do order of operations, parentheses first. 3 times 4 is 12. We're going to rewrite it as those arrows bring it down. So now this is a lot of the times where my students will get confused because they want to do 35 minus 12 really quickly. We see there aren't any exponents, there's no multiplication or division. And so we add or subtract left or right. And because we're going to do that first. I messed up. But 23 plus 6 is going to equal 29. And we're looking for a value of 5, so that can't be correct. So here, let's go to the next one. And we saw that value to be in the teens. This value, parentheses, 35 minus 3 is 32. We're going to bring this down. So we have 32 times 4 plus 6. Order of operations tells us we do not have any exponents. We multiply or divide. 32 times 4 is 128. We bring it down plus 6, and we get 134. And we're looking for a value of 5. So that process of elimination, a lot of my students would just put an X there, but we just want to make sure. So we're going to keep working them out. Now we do parentheses. 4 plus 6 is 10. Rewrite our equation. A lot of the times my students would want to put 32 times 10 is 320, but we have to multiply or divide first. So we do 3 times 10 is 30, 35 minus 30 is 5. So the thing I see most and would point out to students is that our first value was in the teens, our second value was in the hundreds, and our last value is 5. So parentheses matter. Where we start really does matter.
I mean, as you can tell, you got 3 different answers by doing it 3
Correct,
different ways.
correct. Just putting parentheses that have been added, and I did. So here's a little different. Use the card from part B to create an expression that has a value of 4. So we're having to plug in numbers here. So we have parentheses, so we know we're going to do that first.
Okay.
So what I notice is I have a blank divided. Well, with my numbers, I notice that 17 is prime, so I can't use that there. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 36 there. Because a lot of the times kids, when they think of division, they think we have to start with a larger number. Right. So let's just use what they are thinking. I want to use their thinking there. So 36 divided by what would give us 4, because we have to do parentheses first. Where I'm going to plug in 17 minus 8, and there I would get 9. So 36 divided by 9 would give me a value of 4. And a lot of kids, it's just really trial and error with this. You just plug in and play with it. And I like when we're at school, we use like a deck of cards to plug in there. And just to get different, because we're going to get different values there, whatever we plug in.
This is a different way of using your mind.
It is.
From the other way. Now you're creating the equation based on
right.
the value, the parentheses, and everything. This is like the Price is Right.
Correct. So again, use the cards, and the value needs to be 1. So what I know is that I have brackets and parentheses this time, so that we got to do everything in there first. But I know whatever is out here has to be equivalent to what's in here because I have to get a value of 1. So again, because of our last theory that, you know, let's start with a larger number there because I see 21, 5, 2, and 3. Let's start with 21 there. So because I know my value has to be 1, whatever's in my bracket is going to also have to have a value of 21 to get 21 divided by 21. So I'm starting with parentheses. So I'm kind of thinking of the factors. So this brings in another skill. What are my factors of 21? Well, I have 21 and 1. I have nothing with 2. I have 7 and 3. So do I have a 3? Yes. And what would yield 7 in there? 5 plus 2. And so I would add 3 there. So I do 5 plus 2 is 7. I would get 7 there. 7 times 3 is 21. 21 divided by 21 is 1 right there. So again, it's just, like I said, it is really trial and error.
It's a puzzle.
It is. They're really probably may not get it right the first time. If they do, let's give ourselves 2 claps. I say that in my classroom all the time. Give London 2 claps, and we all give him 2 claps. And the last one, I love these because it's error analysis. And kids love to find other kids' mistakes. They love to find my mistakes, right? They love to find your mistakes. So let's look at this really quickly. I've set it up over here just so we can see. So it says an expression is evaluated as shown. Place an X to show where the first mistake appears. So here is the expression at the top, and because of order of operation, I know I've got to use brackets first, brackets, parentheses. So inside my brackets, I'm doing my parentheses, 8 minus 6, and now I have 5 plus 2 times 2 plus 5 still in brackets. And it's very important. Kids love this because they're not trying to find an answer. They're just trying to find the mistake. So I'm looking at my first one. Okay, my first one matches their first one here. So I'm good there. They didn't make a mistake there. So let's see, we're still in our brackets. So what did we go left to right in brackets? I don't have any more parentheses. I don't have exponent. Now I multiply or divide left to right. So 2 times 2 is 4. And so I look at my next step over here. Well, look at theirs and mine are very different. What did they do first? They added first instead of multiplied. So they did not follow the order of operations. So my students very quickly would let me know, Ms. Hamilton, I have found the mistake. And they saw that they made a mistake there first. So that would be the end of that
So it's kind
slide.
of reverse thinking.
It is.
You're going backwards.
You're going backwards. And they're not trying to find a value. Or they may be. They may get to that last step and see that the value doesn't match up with their value. So they may see that maybe I made a mistake or maybe they made a mistake. And sometimes I do questions where there's no mistake. So that really throws, that is mean. That's a little mean. So that is our first assignment. They would click turn in when they finish that, and it would send a message to me. I will comment back with them. Also, I forgot to add in that right here, I've included a classroom playlist. I really encourage, if they like to listen to music, Ms. Hamilton's jam today is better when I'm dancing. I always feel that about myself. So, but here is number 3. It says, go to this. The objective is the royal family has been abducted. So we're still working on evaluating expressions. As a knight in the order of operations, you must use your math skills to come to their rescue. It says Ms. Hamilton's best time on rescue in the royal family was 4 minutes and 53 seconds. Try to beat her time. So we're going to go. It is really like an escape room type deal. So they're really trying to see. Since I'm a girl, I'm going to choose, it says the royal family. Like I just said, I'm a knight in the order of operations. And we're going to choose your knight and sally forth. The instructions here while I'm waiting on her, it says click the number you wish to start with. So where we start. Click the operator you wish to use. Click the second number. Solve that part. So I'm going to go to I'm saving. I see right here there's 7 royals to be saved.
So every time you get a part right, you have saved somebody. Go on to the next step.
Right, correct. And you'll see that it's going to build up steps so she can get out of there. So I'm going to start order of operations. 10 minus 7 with parentheses, and I get 3. Now I do not have any parentheses left. I do not have any exponents. So I'm multiplying or dividing left to right. And see, this is a little more advanced than what we were doing. So
But you still have to know your order.
we still have to know our order. And a lot of students at first will want to multiply first, but it's multiply or divide left to right. I tell them it's like we're reading. So we go 12 divided by 3.
Do you think a lot of that's because we learn how to multiply first before we learn?
I really do think that. And because they see that acronym and they see MD, that's why we write it horizontally, so it doesn't multiply or divide, whichever it comes first, left or right. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. Now do I have any multiplication or division left? Yes, I have multiplication left. So 4 times 11 is 44. Now I do not have any multiplication or division left. I do have adding and subtracting. So I'm going to, a lot of students want to add first, but subtraction comes first, left or right. So 50 minus 44 is 6. And 6 plus 5 is 11. Okay, you solved the step correctly. To the rescue. So I've saved 1 royal. I've got to save 7 royals. So my time is right here. My timer is counting me. Remember, Ms. Hamilton did it in 4 minutes and 53 seconds. I don't think you can beat me, students, but maybe you can. Challenge here.
I see a challenge.
Again, parentheses, we see those first. 18 divided by 6 is 3. I see another set of parentheses here. 3 minus 2 is 1. Now I see subtraction, but we have to multiply or divide in order of operations first. So I see multiplication. 3 times 1 is 3. Left to right, 12 minus 3 is 9, correct.
That math coming into play there.
9 minus 3,
It's going to be
6. And I've saved my second royal. To the rescue I go. Again, I really encourage students to, keep playing it. Try to get a better time. It's really good, really, really, really good practice. Just reinforcing the skill of evaluating expressions.
Well, we all like games, and we all like to
Of course we do.
Yeah,
Of course we do.
Bring out our competition. One day I'd like to have you back and we talk about how do we get to the order? Why the order is like it is.
Correct.
That could be a whole nother show. But this has been awesome.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you taking the time to come out today. And everybody now go wash your hands and then challenge Miss Hamilton and see if you can beat her time.
Correct. Thank you.
All right. This is Greg Ellis for Distance Learning 101. We'll see you Friday morning.